Hello everyone, this is Veda, and today I'm going to explain like what are the practical things, like practical knowledge on software testing, and what and all you should have the knowledge on that. So I'll just go one by one. So I think this information you won't get anywhere. So that's reason as a practical like knowledge I'm giving. If it is useful, please subscribe my channel. So here what I have mentioned in the first slide is what we should know after onboarding to company, because many people they don't know like once they are onboarded what are the things they should prepare. So according to me, first they should try to get the project information, like which project they are going to deploy and what are the things required, I mean skills required for that project. Anyway, before deploying to the project, if you have example any client interview, you'll be knowing what is the expectation of that project. But still some people, if they don't know directly, if they hire and they don't know like which project or what are the things they should prepare, so try to get the information like which project you are going to deploy and what is the requirement. Example, they might need a API automation requirement, Selenium, or a backend testing or a manual testing. So these are the things you should know and prepare well on that. Suppose if you don't have, also no problem, at least you just prepare like some of the manual testing, API testing, API Selenium automation, or API automation, or API manual testing. So these are the things are required. So it is very useful for you. So based on that, and also try to get the requirements. Example, they will mention, you will be knowing, suppose if you are going to particular diploma a project, you will be knowing the domain. Example, it is a mortgage domain or a banking domain or any life science domain. So based on that, just Google it and prepare document and get the knowledge on that domain. So that's what in this slide I have mentioned. So next is like after deploying to the project. Okay, so what are the things you should know? Definitely once you get into the project, so you will be knowing the domain, so try to get the domain knowledge and I mean just check try to get the requirement. Okay, and analyze and understand the requirement. Okay, suppose if you do not have, so if you have any legacy application, so go through that or try to Google it and try to get the requirement, study on that, and prepare your own document whatever you are understanding it. It will be very helpful for you when you actually I mean start your project with your work. And try to know like what are the team members, because some project in the same company you might have your colleagues, or you will be deploying to the client and you might have the different company colleagues also. Just try to know like what are your team members and what are their test plan, or what is the plan of that project. So when we are going to finish, what is the sprint days, or how many days the project will be. So try to get all this information, and if you are clear with your requirement, so start prepare your test cases. It will be good. Actually, beginning only, if you prepare your test cases, so you will not be having any problem. So if you want, we can update it later. So the next is so only particular about a test cases why I have mentioned is, so whenever you have the requirement, right, so you might have some confusion or a clarification you might require. So try to know who is your BA or a EFA. So try to get the information from them. So clear all your doubts, and what you do is you can just prepare your test cases. So test cases means it depends actually. So in some project they will be testing UI, right? So you have to write UI test cases, and sometime like it is API, and sometime backend test cases. So based on that, prepare your test cases based on your project. And plus, like, you have to review your test cases first, and also peer reviews of your colleagues and all. So just ask them to review your test cases and update your test cases based on their comment. After that, as per the process, like we should send those test cases for BA review if we have the BA and they have to review, or whoever, because I have experience like earlier what I have worked, so they have some different team, so that team actually they used to review that. So if you have BA and BA also, they will review and they will update if any update is there, and update your test cases based on that. And next is execution. So whenever so it depends actually. Some company will be having user stories, and yeah, so it's a different, but as example, whenever you have the user stories developed for your testing, okay, if it is move to testing and start your execution. So functional test you will do it first, right? So execute that. If you have any observation, right, post on that user story. So actually what I have followed the process till now is, so whenever it is the first time, right, functional testing will be adding our observation. So once all the functional testing is done, again if you have got any existing issues, then we used to raise the defect. So you have might have Jira or different VST, STFS, it depends like which defect tracking tool which you are using. That's what I have mentioned in the test execution. And next is the functional different types of testing actually. So usually in functional testing you'll be having the beginning functional testing, then integration testing, and end-to-end testing, so regression testing and smoke testing. So practically what I feel is, so whenever there is we complete functional testing, then we'll go with integration testing to find out like all the integrated integration between the modules. Then to verify the like a basic level of main features are working, so that we do smoke testing and end-to-end testing, so make sure that all from beginning to till end, like all the end-to-end scenarios are working fine, so there we do end-to-end testing. And regression testing, why we do is to make sure that all the functionality is working fine, and if any issues or fixes, so based on that, it should not impact any other features. So to make sure that, we'll do regression testing. So yeah, that's what I have mentioned here. So the next is defect document. So why we should have the defect document? Because what will happen sometime if you are not having your document, it will be there in your defect wherever you're logging. But if you have your own document, it will be good. So whenever there is a release happen or any code deployment, you should verify those defects first, so to make sure that there will not be any defects present. So if you verify, so those defects will be verified, it will be good. As I personally feel that if testers have the defectors will be good, so you can maintain a defect document by your own. So the next is actually usually we'll raise the defects, but some of the people they don't know like what are the things should be there in the defect. So like according to me, first we should mention the URL, like which environment it is present, so which page it is, so directly you can copy paste the URL and username password. So example, so some of the you might be having some user details, right? So might be the issue is only with that user, so that's the reason you can mention username password which you are using for that execution. And environment, you might be having different environment where the issue is present and where the issue is not present, that also you can mention here. And if you want to add any note also, you can add it. I've not added it, but you can add it. And step to reproduce, and definitely they need developers need a step, so if anyone see that you by seeing the steps, so they can also reproduce the issue, so you can just add your steps step by step. And actual results, so actually how the the application is behaving. and what is our expectations. Example, actually is the page is throwing oops error page, expected is the page should be displayed login page. So that like you can add, and add your screenshot will be good, because they'll be knowing where it is throwing error, and it will be good. And screenshot you can add actually actual what is happening and what is the expected if you have it, so it will be good. Yeah, so if you have any so what are the things I have explained it here, right? So you can just go through my video one more time. If you have any doubts you can comment, or if you need any other things, right, you can comment it back. Yeah, thank you all.